Have you ever looked up into the night sky and wondered, what are all those faint shapes up there? In modern astronomy, we recognize 88 official constellations, each with its own myth, shape, and a flagship star, the brightest star in that constellation. Today, we'll tour the 88 constellations and their brightest stars, from ones that are popular to ones that aren't so popular. All right, let's get started. First, let's have a bit of a history lesson and learn some context. This is important. The International Astronomical Union, also known as the IAU, formalized the 88 constellations in the early 20th century, locking down the official boundaries we use today. So when I say constellation, I mean those IAU-defined regions in the sky. And of the 88 constellations, there are a bunch of popular ones, like Orion, Ursa Major, and Scorpius. But there are also ones you've rarely heard of, especially near the southern celestial pole. Each constellation has a brightest star by apparent magnitude, and that star often gives the constellation its name. So let's fly through a section of these constellations, grouped by family and region. Let's begin with some of the best known constellations in the northern sky, like Orion. The brightest star in Orion is Rigel, also known as Beta Orionis. It's a stunning blue supergiant. Next, we have Ursa Major, whose brightest star is Alioth, or Epsilon Ursae Majoris. Then there's Ursa Minor, better known as the Little Dipper, and its brightest star is Kojab, also called Beta Ursae Minoris. Moving on to Cassiopeae, its standout star is Skadar, or Alpha Cassiopeae. In the constellation Cygnus, known as the Swan, the brightest star is Deneb, or Alpha Cygni. It's one of the 3 stars in the famous Summer Triangle. And finally, Lyra, the little harp, has Vega, or Alpha Lyrae, as its brightest star, another key point in the Summer Triangle. These are often familiar because they're bright and visible from mid-northern latitudes. And their brightest stars often serve as anchor points in stargazing. Okay, now let's drop into the fun stuff, zodiac signs, and the southern skies. In Scorpius, the brightest star is Antares, also known as Alpha Scorpii. It's a red supergiant often called the heart of the scorpion. In Leo, the brightest star is Regulus, or Alpha Leonis. Taurus features Aldebaran, or Alpha Tauri, as its brightest star. It's a warm orange giant that marks the bull's fiery eyes. In Sagittarius, the brightest star is Cos Australis, also known as Epsilon Sagittarii. Then there's Crux, or the Southern Cross, one of the most recognizable constellations in the Southern Hemisphere, with A Crux, or Alpha Crucius, shining as its brightest star. And finally, Centaurus, one of the largest southern constellations. The brightest star is Rigel Kentaurus, or Alpha Centauri, part of one of the closest star systems to Earth. These stars are often used in celestial navigation and are also in stargazing guides, like the Southern Hemisphere. Now, to spice things up, let's talk about a few lesser-known constellations and their brightest stars. Lepus, the hare that sits just beneath Orion, has Armeb, or Alpha Leporis, as its brightest star. And Sculptor, the brightest star is Beta Sculptoris. Then there's Vulpecula, the faint little fox, whose brightest star is Answer, or Alpha Vulpeculae. Moving into the southern sky, Pavo, which means peacock, has Peacock, or Alpha Pavonis, as its standout star. And finally, Mensa, named after Table Mountain, has Alpha Mensae as its brightest star. And fun fact, some of these constellations have a brightest star that's actually pretty dim and lesser seen in light-polluted skies. Also, in a few constellations, the brightest star by magnitude isn't assigned the alpha designation because of historical naming or brightness measurement differences. All right, as you stroll around tonight, here's what to do with all of that knowledge. Pick a known constellation, say Orion, identify your anchor, Rigel, then move outward and connect your neighboring constellations by their brightest stars. Over time, you'll build a mental map of the sky, and the bright stars are your signposts. Exploring lesser-known constellations, or just constellations in general, allow you to appreciate human culture and science, which have all mapped out the skies.